Hello, Scoreholio organizers. This is Ben with Scoreholio. I'm going to do a quick tutorial video on team management and getting players into a tournament. On the left side, I have the web, and I'm going to go to run a tournament. I'm at scoreholio.com. I'm going to go to run a tournament and sign in. It's going to ask for your email and password. I've already done that, and I'm going to go do this tutorial on Pop Darts. On the right, I have my simulator, and this is going to be the Scoreholio app. And you'll notice if you have to change your sport, like you picked the wrong one, you can always click the logo to go ahead and change it. Everything that you do on the app will also happen on the computer, and I'll kind of show you that as we move along. Here's my set teams tournament. I'm going to go ahead and click on it and click edit here. And you'll notice that my team generation is set teams. Now, for everything else, Switcholio, split switch, singles, all that, the team management kind of works the exact same way. If you need to move players on and off, or like let's say you're doing a weekly league and you have subs, it'll operate the same way. Now, there's a lot of ways to get people into Scoreholio. One of the most popular is pre-registration. So if you do turn this on, you will be able to have players sign up as their own teams or as their own individuals. As set teams, we do have a limit of 4 players per team for the roster. And one thing that I can show you here is that if you do pre-registration, you can allow them to do custom team names or use a set first and last name, whatever you want to do. And I'll kind of show you how you can update that in the admin. But that's how my setup is here. I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and I'm going to click on admin, and that's going to bring me into the players and teams tab in the tournament where this is where the management happens. I'm going to show you a quick thing on the right side here in my simulator. If I click on player profile here, you'll see that I'm logged in as my player profile player account on this app, on the Scoreholio app. In Scoreholio, there are 2 types of accounts. There's a player account and there's an organizer account. So when I'm clicking on player, I can click on the scan in button, and that's going to actually bring up my QR code as a player to be able to be scanned by an organizer into the tournament. If I go out of here and I click on this run a tournament tab, this is my organizer account. So there's 2 different logins. You can use the same email or different emails. It's up to you. But here you're going to go ahead and log in with your your email and your password, and that would bring up the same stuff that you're doing on the web over here. So you'll notice whenever it pulls up, I'm going to actually have my tournament that I am running here, which is my set teams demo right here. So one cool thing is if you click on it, you click this check-in button, that's where you would go ahead and scan that QR code for a player. And if you did, it would bring up their information. Now I'm going to click manual add, and I'm going to manually add somebody. So let's say I'm going to add Nick Smith, and I'm going to say that this is nick.smith at, gmail.com. And I'm going to say that I'm going to create a new team, and it's going to be Team Nick right here. Now, what you'll notice is as soon as I click add to game, they're going to show up in the admin of this tournament over here on the left side. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and add them. And voila, they show up here with Team Nick, which is the blue line. That's the team name and team information. And then Nick Smith below, who is a player on this team. Now, you'll notice if there's different things happen if you click on different ones. So let's say I click on Team Nick, and they actually pre-registered. So I'm going to go ahead and move the team to pre-registration up here, right? You'll see it moves everything up here to pre-registration. Now on my right side, we were just checking in teams that did pre-register. I can click on this purple pre-register button, and I can click on the team, and I can go ahead and confirm that they're at the tournament, and it'll move them down to the checked-in area, right? So that's kind of your check-in screen over here. There's only one more button here, and that's this one here. That's how you would actually get yourself into a tournament. So let's say I'm going to put Ben Voodoo on Team Scoreholio, and I'm going to move them onto Team Nick. Like I wanted to just go ahead and myself. You'll see that I'm going to go ahead and pop up on Team Nick over here. So that's this whole screen over here. I'm going to go ahead and get out of it, and I'm going to go into the admin so that way we can just do everything together from the phone and the web. So you'll see over here I have Team Nick and Team Ben and Nick on this team. Let's say I wanted to take Ben off this team. I can always click on Ben and remove the player from the team. So that's going to take me off the team and move me into this unassigned player subs. Then I can always click on them and just delete them and get them out of the tournament if I wanted to. And then let's say, oh, I didn't mean to delete Ben. I can always add a player up here. Now, adding a player, you could do search existing players. So if anybody that's ever played in your tournament before, you could start typing their name and they're going to show up here. And if I click on them, it'll bring their information in and you'll see that their email is right here. Scoreholio relies on emails. So it's very important that you double check that you got the right email for the player, because if you do, then they'll get all their stats and all their alerts and all their stuff if they're logged in on that player profile on their app. So it's very important. That's everything's tied to email. You'll see the placement here. You can change this and just make them a checked-in team or pre-registered team. But I'm going to put myself back in this sub list, and you'll see that it ends up here. So if you're running a weekly league or something like that, you can end up with like a bunch of people here, and you could just continuously move them on and off a team. Now, let's say like you're in the middle of a tournament and, something happens and, you need to correct a record of a team for some odd reason, whatever it is. You can always come here to this blue line and click on the team, and you can edit any of their stats right here and go ahead and save it as well. So that's a good way to know that you can save stats and things like that. Now, as mentioned earlier, we do have a lot of different ways to get players in and everything. You can scan them in over here. They can pre-register. You can type in their name. Let's say that we're just going to put in Kathy and Christy to play in this tournament. And we don't even want to use their team names, right? We're just running a quick one. We don't care. We can put them in here as an empty team, and they can go ahead and start from there. Now, a couple other ways that you can do things. You can come up here to more options. Now, these will take a pro or an advanced level. If you want to import a CSV, you can have an entire spreadsheet. What you would do is you would click on the sample file and make sure that it matches and keep all of the column headers on this sample file. You can learn more about this at docs.scoreholio.com. I have a whole video on that. Another cool thing is if, let's say that you're running, you want to bring players from one tournament to the next tournament, you can always click on this import button, and you can go to any of the tournament you've ran in the past, grab those players, highlight them, and bring them into the tournament. Another cool one is if you would go to this second drop down, you can import from a fake player, fake tournament, and we have these ones set up for you. So let's say I just want to bring in 8 teams and 4 players per team. Here's my teams. I'm just going to select them all, and I want to import them into pre-registration so I can practice checking people in, whatever you need to do. I can click this import button, and you're going to notice it's going to drop all those teams into the pre-registration. And now I have a good test tournament. I can go in there and just run this by checking them in. So you can check them in by clicking this box to select them all and come down to checked in selected. Or, if you just wanted to, check in a few, you can always, excuse me, let me go ahead and click on 1 or 2 of these and then go ahead and click checked in. And that's going to go ahead and move them down to the checked in area, right? Now you can always click on one team at a time. You can always come up here and search. Let's say David comes up and he's like, we want to check in. You can type in David and he's on the Cowboys. So we're going to go ahead and check in that team. So you can search everything, do everything there. Now, one of the other things I want to show you is, let's say that, you don't want these custom team names. You really want everybody to see their own names. If I come up here, I'm actually going to go here and go back on this. And if I click on, if I go back to this tournament here, sorry about that, and I go to find a tournament, this is where, you'll be able to see all of your tournaments like a player would, because a player can go to find a tournament at any time. Click on the tournament to be able to see who's playing in the tournament, the dashboard, and all the scores and things like that. So if I come over here to mine and I make sure that I'm my player or organizer, oval is highlighted, my team will come up, and you'll notice, like, if I go to the dashboard here for this tournament, and I apologize, simulators are notoriously slow, so it's taking a little longer on this right side, but I'm going to the dashboard. This is what your players would see. We have all of these, custom team names here. So Falcons, Lions, Packers, and you can see them all here. These people are pre-registered, those people, and these are the checked-in teams here. If I want to just make it so it's all the players' names, I can go to more options here and standardize names. And what I can do is I can go ahead and say, I want to do my first and last name for everybody on this list instead of my custom team names. And it's going to switch it all. So you can see all these names have switched. If I come up here and I click this refresh button here, now all of those names have switched here as well. So you can use your custom team names or standardized names. If you really want to make it like a lot cleaner, and so people can see the names of players and things like that. But that's how you can import. You can import a CSV. You can scan them in. You can pre-register them. You can manually type them all in here. And you can just click on things to move people around. Now, one thing you're going to see here, there's a lot of these little bells. These bells mean that this person has not signed into the app on the player profile tab and created an account with that email. Once they do, that bell will actually disappear, and that's how you know that they're going to get their alerts and all of that. So a player would just put in their first name, last name, email. That's all we ask for. We don't ask for anything else, and then they get a verification code to be able to log in on a player profile, and you'll see those bells disappear. After you get everybody in, you're ready to start your tournament and have a lot of fun. And this is, if you need more help, go to docs.scoreholio.com, or you can email info@scoreholio.com, and we're always available to help. As always, it's easy peasy.